Don Little, welcome.
Thank you.
Where's hometown for you, Don?
Sugar Grove, Pennsylvania, Wrightsville when I was a kid.
Now, how did a guy from Wrightsville and Sugar Grove get word that there was even races occurring at Watts Flats?
I really don't remember that.
Yeah.
But I know there was several people in Wrightsville that took cars up there.
And when you first go up there, you're a young-looking guy. You must have been 10 years old.
No, I was 18. That's me right there.
Oh my gosh, look at that. With trophy and everything.
Yeah.
He's only 10 years old then.
He's pretty young.
Yeah, and he had these good-looking women hanging around him too. Is that why you did this, Don? Was it for the women?
A part of it, yeah.
Yeah. And 75 lap championship, that's 1958. I'm just visualizing 75 laps around that track. That's not easy.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Talk to me about the track itself. When you close your eyes and think about coming on to the track, describe a lap for me.
Well, the checkered flag, and then you went across a small flat. You turned left. You couldn't see for about 100 feet because you just went through the creek. You went up a hill, across the flat to the top, left turn, down the hill on the other end, across the bridge, and back by the flagman. And hopefully you got turned, because if you went straight, you run into the people.
They were up on the hill?
They were up on the bank.
Yeah. And the economics of it were, what did it cost you to get onto the track? Do you remember?
Oh, I remember one time buying a car for $20 on Saturday and running it on Sunday. We didn't buy tires. There was a scrap yard in Warren, and they had a huge pile of old tires.
Right.
So we'd go down there and round up tires to run.
Right.
If we couldn't find any without any hole, we'd cut the beads off other tires and put one tire inside the other to cover up the hole.
What else did you do to change? I mean, these were jalopies. They were literally...
Yeah, right.
Anything else you would have to do to sort of modify it so you could even race it?
Well, you tore anything out you didn't need to run.
Right.
You'd get a hammer and chisel the fenders off.
Right.
Try to put something on front and save the radiator, which didn't always work.
Right.
That was about it.
Do you remember, Don, you won 3 races according to our historians there. Were you there at year 1 in 1956, do you recall?
No.
No?
No.
What years did you race there?
57 to in the early 60s. I can't remember what year.
And the owners of the track were the McNitts?
McNitt, yes.
Now, that would have been Don and Howard McNitt, do you recall?
Yeah, Don Howard, and Red was there. I don't know if he was part owner. And Don Howard's father was there.
Was he?
Yeah.
Did you also have anybody else in your family who raced there at all?
My brother.
Did he race there as well?
Yeah. He's here.
Yeah?
He's here.
Between the two of you guys, who was the best?
Well, of course, me.
I'll ask him the same question.
Okay.
As you were reflect back on those few years at the Roller Bowl, were there any sort of incidents or anecdotes of events that you recall that?
Probably the one I recall most is the one in that picture. I passed Johnny Whitehead on the last lap and won that.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Did Johnny know you were coming?
Probably. I think I'd bumped into him before that.
Yeah. Did that happen a lot? Was there a lot of kind of pushing and shoving? And
most of it wasn't intentional. Nobody purposely rammed into anybody else.
Did you ever see in the pits after races where the drivers would get a little...
A few times, yes, I did.
Was it just pushing and shoving, or did you ever see a...
Oh, I can remember one time, one fella, Charlie Bacon, in one of the... What's the guys have the gravel pit? Louis. James.
Yeah.
One of the James, they got in an argument, and Charlie wanted to fight, and the James says, I don't want to fight you, you're an old man. And Charlie's brother stepped up, says, "I'm Charlie's brother, I'm not an old man," and he popped him in the jaw, broke his hand.
Well, that would teach him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so much for blood.
Yeah. No, there wasn't a whole lot of actual fighting. It was usually yelling and hollering and threatening, and that's about it.
Did you, after the races, did you guys sort of hang around, and was it a kind of a fraternal type group, or did you sort of get your cars and go home?
Oh, usually we got the cars and went home. There'd be 3 or 4 of the guys that maybe lived close to you, and you'd be in contact with them all the time, but it wasn't like one big family.
Right, right. When you won, which you did, what kind of purse was there, Don? Do you recall?
As I recall, I won $30.
Mm-hmm. That's the cost of a car.
Yeah, sure. It was profitable back then.
Yeah. Did you find yourself going after Roller Bowl? Did you race at State Line? Did you?
Yeah, I raced at State Line. I think I was 60 years old. I still raced there in the spectators.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Good for you. What drove you? Was it obviously you were having fun?
Well, I quit because I got married.
Right.
And then the kids grew up and left, and I don't know, I started again. My cousin owned State Line, Franny Siemens.
Okay, okay.
And that was partially why I started back up.
Right. Oh my gosh, good for you. Good for you. After, when you got done with Roller Bowl, Stan, what other racetracks did you race at, Don?
Oh, I've been to quite a few of them. There was one in Sherman in a gravel pit. There was one in Frewsburg up on top of a hill. There was one in Titusville. They had one in Wrightsville for a while. There was quite a few little old tracks around.
You did it for the fun of it, obviously, not the money.
No, you didn't do it for the money.
Yeah.
No.
Who were some of the, when you were on a racetrack, Don, were there some certain drivers that you really knew they were there, that were either tough, rough, or really good? I mean, what were some of the names that you remember?
Well, there was some good ones. Like back at Roller Bowl, there was Pangborn, there was Whitehead, there was, well, I think Louis was the best of the James. Bunkecker. There was quite a few good ones, but I can't remember all the names now.
Well, we're going to have a chance. Hopefully you'll come join us. We're going to go over to
we're going to go over.
Good. The owners are very excited about, they went down and it's all grown in, but they've mowed it so we can all walk through it, and I'm sure there'll be lots of memories.
Yeah, another thing I used to do, I lived in Wrightsville, and I'd tow the car to Lottsville with a chain.
Right.
I'd unhook it in Lottsville and drive it from there to the racetrack. And only one time in Niobe, I don't know if it was local police or a police stopped me, and all he did is make me hook the chain back on.
Is that right? So there you are, cruising down the road. What was your number?
2.
Number 2?
Yep.
So there's number 2 on its way to Watts Flats. I love it. What's the highlight of your racing career, Don?
Probably the time that I won the 75 lap and passed Johnny Whitehead.
So literally at the last lap,
Yeah, the last lap I passed him.
Yeah.
I remind him of it every time I see him. He says, "I'm still going to get even with you."
Well, that's terrific. You know, there are